How did you climb to pretty much the top of the totem pole here in terms of, marketers and business owners online? How did that journey take place?
I started actually in very different businesses. I was in the fashion business and the music business, and I really learned PR and image style advertising and branding. And after I got out of that business, I took like a year or two off and ended up getting hypnotized and found that I'm highly hypnotizable. So then I opened up a hypnosis office, and that grew into a chain of hypnosis offices. But what made it grow was me learning direct response, because when I first started advertising for the hypnosis centers and I was using image style advertising, the phone did not ring. And what I found was that the more that I thought the ad was cheesy, the more that I was embarrassed by the ad, the more it worked. And I had this realization that I had to have an education in this kind of advertising that elicited a direct response. And that led me to learning from people like Dan Kennedy and Gary Halbert and Jay Abraham. Hired a few of them as well to work on ads for me. And the hypnosis business grew really fast, 0 to 13.5 million in about 3.5 years. And then 9/11 happened. And then, and our offices were all throughout New York City. So all the places that we were able to advertise, we were not. And FEMA took our phone lines, and I made some bad deals. And so just a bunch of things happening all at the same time. And so I had to get out of that business. I got drawn to online marketing and getting online in 2001. When it was time to get online, I had these two kind of things going on in my head. One, I want to do direct response. I dig it. I like getting the feedback. Our original ads that we first started running, we'd get like 40 phone calls. And by the time we were done, we'd get over 450 phone calls from the same ad. I mean, obviously, the ads were different, right? But we did full page ads in the Daily News, like 5 out of the 7 days a week. And we could split tests. We could do A/B tests there. So that's how I learned a lot. And the other thought in the back of my head was, what was being pitched in like BizOps stuff as related to online was that you didn't need any employees, that you could like check your laptop at the beach. And that seemed so appealing to me. Of course, it didn't work out that way. And so for the first year or year and a half online, I really struggled. I tried to do everything myself, and there's just a lot of things I'm not good at. And so I was able to very quickly kind of pivot and be able to treat my business like a real business. And once I did that, my results radically changed. And during that time, I'd also made a bunch of friends going to events like Big Seminar. And my friends like noticed the change, right? Now I was making a lot more money, but they didn't have the same bank of knowledge that I had as far as understanding all the elements of business. And so for them, the change wasn't as easy. And that's what kind of motivated me to want to get into coaching. I first went to Jay Abraham, brought him online and did a big event there. And we did a coaching program for about 2 years together. We did a teleseminar series, bringing Jay online. And then the back end of that was this coaching program, which I loved. And that's when I decided to go into coaching. I helped a lot of people get great success. I mean, they were certainly more responsible for their success than I was, but, I certainly, accelerated people's path to success, people like Brunson and Dice and all those guys. And then I was kind of a behind the scenes player, and, no one really knew who I was. And I was making maybe like 25, 30,000 a month, and I was comfortable, still not making as much as I had made offline, but comfortable. I didn't know what to do. And the reason I was only making money from coaching was because I had no front end products. I had no mid-tier products. All I had was my coaching program. And I knew direct response. So I knew I needed like acquisition tools, like a front end product and things to upsell and things like that. But I was so scared to take any of the content out of my coaching program with the fear that I'd be cannibalizing my coaching program. And I was listening to a set of audios Dan Kennedy's info and consulting, coaches and consulting boot camp. Someone asked this question that was really, if I was there, it would have been the question I asked. And I remember Dan's answer specific because it just kind of like seared into my brain. Someone said, like, I want to create these products, but I'm afraid of cannibalizing my coaching program. And Dan just laughed at him, which Dan doesn't laugh very often. And so that was interesting. And he said, Bubba, you just don't get it. You take your best ideas from your coaching program and you put them in your front end products because that's what's going to get people to want to buy your coaching program. And so I wrote this report called the Internet Business Manifesto. It was kind of like the first lead magnet. And lo and behold, right, it changed my life, right? There's really like my life before that report and there's my life after, and they're very different. That worked so well that I then wrote a series of reports for the next 18 months. And every report I wrote brought in millions of dollars because every report I wrote was about a way of seeing things that then I would launch a coaching program like in alignment with that set of beliefs after. So that's how I made the money from that. What I realized was that all of these successes came about because I or my clients were leveraging a marketing tactic or strategy early on in its life cycle where many of the other people in that market or niche or industry were not using it. That's when I created this program called Steal Our Winners. And that's been our flagship product ever since. Strategies and tactics that are currently crushing it online that most people don't know about yet. It's grown quite significantly in our subscriber base, and it's also grown in what we deliver. So we're at a point today where we deliver 104 episodes a year. And so that's put me in this position of being someone who really knows what's going on right now, right? And that's awesome because I still have my 5 to 10 private clients that I keep, and it makes it really simple for me to help my private clients just being so plugged in to different strategies and different tactics that are crushing it at the moment.
That's an amazing story. Your impact on the internet marketing world has been, enormous. Previous to Steal Our Winners, how did you stay on the cusp of what was working, and where did that kind of come from? Where does the inspiration come from these things?
There's a bunch of factors. One, I would say, just like you were a protege of Gary Halbert, right? I was a protege of Jay Abraham, communicated on a daily basis and spent a lot of time together. He doesn't start his calls with his friends and colleagues and peers with, how you doing? He asks, what's working?
Yeah.
Like that's how he starts the question, right? What's working? And if you do that all day long, every day, guaranteed that by the end of the day, you know more than you did at the beginning of the day. And so I guess that kind of rubbed off on me a little bit.
So if you enjoyed this clip and you'd like to benefit from more monetization secrets, go and register now for Monetization Daily. You can go to monetizationresearch.com to get it. It is a free newsletter that is absolutely awesome. It is delivered to your email inbox, and it contains lots of great monetization tips, tactics, and strategies that you will love. Again, head on over to monetizationresearch.com to get it now.